newspaper are also 2-3 newspaper are there.
So for my first 2 years, I read newspapers. Then I stopped for the next 2 years. So I would suggest freshers to do the same, because newspaper helps in improving one's communication language, which really helps in interview. Interview pulled my scores really up. I got 201. Mostly, I think I was able to communicate clearly. It's important that we use the right words and not the closest word. So definitely, definitely there's an advantage of reading Hindu for 2 years. After that, it's a judgment call that you have to make, whether is it, because there are websites, so I shifted to that, because I could complete that in like 40 minutes, while newspaper would take like, in fact, less than 40 minutes, because half an hour. Newspaper would take an hour and a half at its best. So it's a judgment call that one has to take. Of course, they would have missed out on 2-3 points or 2-3 topics for that day. Is it worth investing an hour and a half for those 2-3 topics is a question that you will have to answer yourself. Again, for Rajya Sabha, I would go through Rajya Sabha main their Frank Pereira's discussions. So again, it's a very eroding investment of time. So I shifted to summaries. Same for All India Radio. Same for Yojana, Kurukshetra. I used to read their primary documents, but then when I would make notes, it was the same as their summary. So I shifted to that. And then I would do current affairs together for once in 3 months for 10 days at a stretch. And then all the summaries of Yojana, Kurukshetra, IDSA, the primary document of PRS, and then the All India Radio debates, all summaries except for the monthly compendium and PRS original document. Everything else I'd follow the compendium. It saved time. Of course, they would have missed certain points, but I didn't personally find the investment, return on investment, to be as good for those 2-3 points.
So you read those topics and then you prepared your own notes for the same?
Yeah. In that particular thing, it is definitely timed. It takes a lot of time, but it's worth it. It's worth it. That
somebody is preparing 2-3 pages of paper, in a way forward and a conclusion, and should we write both, or what should we?
And not every question is asking a way forward. Like if it asks, then of course we would give. So that's why a conclusion should, like I said, should have a value in itself. So if the way forward, what are the solutions for the same is given, if asked in the question, then the way forward should be in the solutions and not towards the conclusion. So it's not mandatory that every answer should end with the way forward unless it is asked.
So the difference between a challenge and a concern, is there a difference? The question is asking what is the challenges or what is the concern. Will it be a similar, same?
Okay, nobody has asked that, but again it will be depending on where it is placed and what is the tone of the question. Like say, what are the challenges that the ISRO, that the Indian Space Research Organization is facing vis-a-vis mission to Mars, and what are the concerns for the same? Now it sounds the same actually. So yeah, I never spent energy on this. So I don't know exactly. Yeah.
While presenting an answer, how do you know whether it is correct or not? Is it only through test series, or how do you judge your own answer, whether it is perfect or?
So there are certain experiments that I would do, and then I'll keep repeating it. So of the 5 people, if 4 people like it, it means that chances of the final evaluator liking it is also same. Small things like say having the example towards the end. These things were pointed out by 4 or 5 people. So that I accommodated in my answer. But vis-a-vis the correctness or the wrongness of the question, I don't think there are wrong answers, because questions are so, like, everyone knows, because we all refer to the same sources. I think people, knowledge-wise, they're all the same, more or less. So I don't think the question of wrongness of a question arises in the first place. It's only about the structure, the quality, and maybe like more and more example to justify a particular assumption. But do not evaluate yourself, because end of the day, whatever we cook, it tastes great. Subject yourself to correction, subject yourself to judgment. Do not work in a vacuum. go meet people. It's rewarding.
Sir, can you please elaborate on sources which you follow for the static part of mails?
Okay, so I had a primary source, and then as attempts increased, I kept adding smaller sources. So for environment, I'll come from this thing. For history, there are 3 NCRTs, the 3 old NCRTs. I did the ancient and the medieval NCRT. For modern, I took Spectrum, and I did Bipin Chandra also, but I think Spectrum is good now. This besides all the 44 NCRTs, a lot of questions. So NCRTs are mandatory. All the 39 NCRTs are mandatory, which also cover world history, Indian history, science, all that stuff. But besides this, and then for geography, besides the 4 NCRTs of 11th, 12th, and the other NCRTs, I did Goche Leong. Of late, they've started asking beyond these things. The last 3 mains, they've asked 1 question each from physical geography, world physical geography, and the NCRTs weren't sufficient to cover them. So they started going beyond it, and I don't know where do they source it from now. And then world history, Arjun Dev, and then a lot of Wikipedia. Besides my option being law, international law evolves from a lot of international history. So there's a comfort zone that we have there. And then society, there are 4 NCRT books. Gold mine, even this year there were 2 questions which came right out of NCRTs. So those 4 NCRTs, 11th and 12th. And then current affairs. Post independence, I did just the NCRT. And then Wikipedia searches. Then polity and governance, Lakshmikant.
The personalities, what is Indian history, personality.
I didn't prepare specifically for that topic. I think quizzing helped there. Again, there's a book for personalities by Spectrum. Only for personalities, it's getting bigger and bigger with every passing year. But I don't know. I haven't had a look at it. Then for GS2, ethics and polity and governance, Lakshmikant. And then all the political theory, political science books of NCRT. And then some suggest Basu. I didn't do Basu because constitutional law covers beyond what Basu's abridged version provides. So that again was a comfort zone. Then for IR, I did only current affairs. And then GS3 agriculture would be, there was a Shankar's module on agriculture. I did that. Then the geography also covers certain static agriculture portions. Then current affairs. Then after agriculture, it's environment and disaster management from all government websites, whatever it has to do with disaster, their guidelines, all that.
Internal security.
Yeah, so after that, internal security comes. Internal security, I didn't do Ashok Kumar. I didn't do that. I did again Shankar's module, and then current affairs for the same. Ashok Kumar, they say it's a good book, and it was in my to-do list, but luckily now I need not do that. Then science, they've stopped asking science and static science. They only ask whatever is in the current affairs. So again, current affairs. For ethics, my entire answer writing was done by sir only here. Yeah.
So the people who are preparing now for the next attempt, so when should one join the main series?
Right after prelims, not now. And it's also important that you clear prelims not just marginally, but by at least 5 or 7 marks above the predicted cutoff, because it gives a very good mental advantage that you can prepare for the next 42 days without any inhibition. There's no cat on the wall situation. You just spend all your resources towards that.
Sir, what made your answer special from your previous rank to this rank?
Sorry?
What made your answer special? Like how you have improved all this?
So these 5 units, I just practiced it to an extent that it became a habit. Unit 1 would be value adding introduction and value adding conclusion. Unit 2 would be understanding the answer and multi-dimensionalism. Unit 3 would be answering the unasked. Unit 4 would be these etceteras. Unit 5 would be Unit 4 would be pictorial representation and the etc. Unit 5 would be the vertical answer writing. So vertical answer writing was appreciated throughout. And it's important to identify what are the answers that are better communicated when written vertically. No, we use vertical only when something like differentiate comes. Yeah, but beyond that also we can start using it. So this I kept practicing. Basically answer writing 47 tests. I kept writing and